Yo, what up, though? Man, shout out to everybody watching my videos. I really appreciate that. So please keep on subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate that. So we're gonna look at the Minnesota Vikings path to the number one seed in the NFC, man. Yes, the Vikings can get the number one seed if the couple of things go right. And honestly, it's only four teams in the NFC, including the Minnesota Vikings, that can make it to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. But you might know something different. Like the 49ers, they got a quarterback issue, and the 49ers been good for so long. Eventually, the wheels got to fall off, man. And the 49ers no longer had Jimmy G, they security blanket. In week one, they going to Pittsburgh. I don't care nobody say. That's still gonna be a tough game. Then they got Dallas at home. They going to Cleveland. They going to Minnesota. They going to Seattle after they play the Buccaneers. Then they going to Philly. Then they got Baltimore. And they going to Washington. And they close out with the Rams, man. We all know how division games go, especially in the NFC West. So I could really see the 49ers, man. Man, I don't see the 49ers getting that number one, number two seed. I ain't going to lie to you. So I'm knocking their ass out of the box. Then we got the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys lost their offensive coordinator, and they now got Mike McCarthy called plays. And we all know how that shit went when he was in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers couldn't stand his play calling ass. Because his plays were so old, he ain't had no juice in his play. And the Dallas Cowboy done let Kellen Moore go to let Mike McCarthy call plays. And I don't think that's going to be a good idea for real. And plus, Dak led the lead. He led the lead last year in interceptions. And the year before that, he had like 1,000 fumbles. So I think Dak is going to continue to turn the fucking ball over, man. Because Dak ain't getting no younger. After a while, shit, a quarterback is who he is. And Dak Prescott got a problem with turning the fucking ball over. And plus, the Dallas Cowboy wide receiver core is just average. Then Tony Pollard coming back off of injury. So you don't know how the running game gonna do. The offensive line is a year older. And plus, it's the Cowboys. So I think the Cowboys, they should make the playoff. But to get the number one or number two seed, I don't see it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And I'm not being biased or nothing. I'm just being real. Now we going to the Philadelphia Eagles, man. We going to the Eagles. The Eagles got a nice team on papers, man. But the Eagles did lose their offensive coordinator. And they lost their defensive coordinator for real. So last time I don't know if they replaced their offensive coordinator or not. I'm not for sure. But the head coach, we see him call plays. I think it was 2021 when Jalen Hurts got in and they made that run. They got to the playoffs and got their ass beat by the Buccaneers. So I can see the Eagles for real having a setback, man. Can you lose an offensive coordinator and you lose a defensive coordinator in the same offseason, and you probably lost some more coaching staff, like a quarterback coach or whatever the case might be. But I'm pretty sure they lost more than just two coaches for real. And plus, I don't care nobody say. Last year, the Eagles and Jalen Hurts surprised a lot of people by how well they played last year, man. Then they acquired A.J. Brown from Tennessee. So with the new look Eagles last year with A.J. Brown on the team, the Eagles went crazy last year. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But I don't think the Eagles are going to surprise nobody anymore. And plus, the tape is out on Jalen Hurts and that offense for real, man. And plus, y'all not no underdogs no more. Last year, y'all came into the season damn near like underdogs. Y'all like the top team in the NFC. So everybody is going to be gunning for y'all head every week. So the Eagles, should have a little minor setback, but not no big setback like I see San Fran for real. And I'm going to my Minnesota Vikings, man. My Minnesota Vikings got a chance to get that number one seed for real. Cause me personally, I think 4 or 5 games will get you the number one seed in the NFC. Cause I don't see no team losing 3 games in the NFC for real. Not how the schedule is set up, and by me just looking at how teams are now. Cause ain't no team really should surprise nobody in the NFC for real. Like the Eagles, what the Eagles did last year, they did some shit around the time last year. They been had AJ Brown on their team, and AJ Brown was a dog before. So I think 4 or 5 wins. You know, you got the tiebreakers and stuff, but I think 4 or 5 wins should get you the number one seed in the NFC, man. So my Minnesota Vikings can get the number one seed. If we do what we got to do in the division, we need a clean sweep in the division, man, for real. Bring the broom out. Sweep everybody in the division, man. And week 2 should be a little statement game. We got to beat the Eagles and beat the 49ers this year because we played them too. If we could sweep everybody in our division and beat the 49ers and beat the Eagles this year in regular season, I think the Minnesota Vikings will have a chance to get that number one seed in the NFC. I'm just gonna be for real. I know people gonna say, well, it's more games than that. I'm just looking at those games. And if we could beat the Eagles and we could beat the 49ers, I think we could beat the Chargers and anybody else we play for real. But I'm not saying they're gonna go undefeated. No, I'm not saying that. I can see Minnesota losing about 4 or 5 games this season for real. But you never know. Four games might could get you the number one seed in the NFC. Then you gotta go to tiebreakers. That's why I said when we play the Eagles and the 49ers, those gonna be some important games down the line for that positioning in the playoffs. And plus, if we get that number one seed, you know only number one seed get a bye week in the playoff. Then we only have 2 home games before we go to the Super Bowl. I got faith in my favorite cousin Kirk to win 2 playoff games at home, then 3 playoff games. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. By the third playoff game, his ass might have ran out of gas. But I can give him 2 games at home, plus our home field advantage. We can take this thing to the Super Bowl for real. Once we get the defense, I think defense is gonna be nice. Once we address the offensive line for real, our offense should be better. I can see Minnesota having the number one seed in the NFC, man, for real. Because the Eagles are going to take a step back. I can see the 49ers, they quarterback issue is just, it's the same shit with them, just a different year, man, for real. And the Cowboys is the Cowboys, for real. So, yeah, man, I like the Minnesota Vikings chance at going at that number one seed. But first, we got to take care of people who we play in front of us. Like week 1, there should be no reason we struggle with Tampa Bay, man. I don't care what that corner talking about or how good their defense is. They got Baker Mayfield at quarterback, man. We should beat them by a 2 possession game, man. Let's be for real. So the Minnesota Vikings, I just gave y'all the blueprint on how y'all gonna get the number one seed in the NFC. Everybody gonna take a little step back, and this gonna be our second year under the same OC. Everybody gonna know the playbook. TJ gonna know the playbook. Everybody gonna know what to do, and we gonna be able to do and run more plays. And I think we got better in the backfield for real. Cause now we got 3 players who gonna be getting the ball instead of just 1 and 2 players. So the Minnesota Vikings, man, y'all got a chance to get that number one seed in the NFC for real. Cause the Eagles got the fucking big head right now, and San Fran do too somewhat. Think they can just put anybody at quarterback and think they gonna succeed. Man, you don't get Sam Donald ass out of here, man. Please subscribe to my channel. And what do y'all think on the Minnesota Vikings getting the number one seed in the NFC, man?